the advanced color edits. So I've already gone through a very basic color edit here. I've also dodged and burned. But what I want to do now is I want to show you what you could do as you're going along and editing. So you want to watch basic color editing first. So here, when I adjusted my levels, I don't necessarily have to have one levels layer. One thing to pay attention to here is RGB. So this means that this is taking care of all of the color channels across the board on my photo. What I could do though is isolate colors. So I could do this all on one levels layer. So I could switch to my reds. As I switch this is only affecting the red values in my photo. It's actually turning them to green. And as I move my middle here, I can add a little more red into it. So I can subtly change the coloration in this photo. And I could go scroll down through all of these, my greens. So if I move the middle slider, it's probably going to push more green into it. So I can go through here. And if for some reason I wanted to protect all the surrounding colors, instead of doing it all in one levels layer, I would just click levels again. This is where renaming your layers comes into play, because I could just call this greens, for instance, or blues, and just adjust my blues here. So I go up to the RGB, switch to blue, all my blue channels, and this would only affect my blue channel. So I can make this photo look very cool or very warm. It's a stylistic choice I could make at this point. Same thing goes for, doesn't happen in brightness contrast, but in curves. Again, we can change our channels, isolate them specifically. And I could do this all on one curves layer, or I just click the curves layer again and it's going to give me a separate curves layer. Same thing with hue saturation. But I have lots of different options here. I can go all the way down through all these different colors. Some of these colors might not actually be present in your photo, and that's fine. But always test each color to see if it does affect it. And again, I can do this all in one layer. So I can switch and do this all in one layer. I might really have to watch the areas that it affects. Or I can just hit hue saturation again and rename it greens. And I can just affect my greens. And this way it kind of protects anything that you do in the layer underneath it. In Photoshop, any layer that is on top is going to affect all the other underlying layers. And one way we can kind of protect what we're doing in an edit is to separate our layers out. So by the end of this, I could have 10 hue saturation layers or 10 levels layers. It doesn't matter. You can just keep on adding. You can keep on adding those edits. So that's an advanced color edit.